Hello, this is Mickey coming back for my second video. And what I'd like to talk about today is that initial moment after discovery, when of course it's probably the worst moment for both you as the unfaithful spouse and your partner, the betrayed spouse. You're both in a tremendous amount of pain, a lot of triggers, very high intensity interactions between the two of you. You're not sure about where we go from here. Are we going to make it? That's a very natural situation, a very natural response. Many times your initial reaction as the unfaithful spouse is, how can we get back to what we had before as soon as possible? How can I convince my partner, the betrayed spouse, that I've learned my lesson and I'm never going to do it again? And of course, I think everybody has that response. I had that response. Of course, we want to move beyond that and really settle into the moment and really try to have what I would call the appropriate response. Because this moment, as painful as it is actually a moment of great opportunity. And for you, for your spouse, for the marriage, you want to have the right response in that moment and move through maybe that initial response where you're very triggered and a lot of fear, a lot of trauma, and so move into a response that's sustainable, where you'll be able to develop some processes and truly be transformed, become a different kind of person, a different kind of husband or wife, a different kind of father. The story that comes to mind for me, when Steph and I first had our D-Day over 20 years ago, is our pastor who married us 5 years before. So we're back in his office telling him the story of what's happened since then, which involves infidelity, a child out of the infidelity, pornography, prostitution. Not a great story. And I remember the pastor sitting back in his chair and saying, "Hey guys, you're not the first couple to sit in those chairs and tell me a story like that. So you're not alone." But the second thing that he said really stuck with us, and that is, you're here and the critical issue is how you respond to this situation. And how you respond will either make you a better person or a bitter person, and that's up to you. We wanted to choose better, and we did choose better on that day. Another quote that comes to mind is from Viktor Frankl, the Swiss psychologist. And the quote is, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom." Again, this moment, as painful as it may be, is a moment of opportunity, a moment where there's potential growth and freedom. You want to take time between the stimulus and the response and make the right choices. The important thing is, as hard as it may be, really focus on what is my response, and what is my response going to be. I want to make sure that I'm making choices and making decisions that are in my best interest, my marriage's best interest, my family's best interest. So what is the right response? Of course, humility. What does that look like? Asking for help, reaching out to pastors, to therapists, to others who are on that same journey, listening to them, taking instructions and directions from those sources. You want to build connections with others, connections with those therapists and pastors and others who are on that same journey, who can help comfort you and guide you in that response and in that journey. And begin to build some processes into your life, such as therapy, such as recovery if addiction is an issue, small groups, etc., that will encourage you and support you as you walk the road of healing and recovery. So what are the benefits of a good response in the moment? Of course, you're going to begin those healthy routines, those healthy processes that will serve you well. And they will serve you well whether your marriage survives and you stay together, or if your marriage doesn't. I think everybody begins this journey thinking, I'm doing all of this work to save my marriage. That's a very natural response. And many marriages do survive, but some don't. But these processes that you'll begin will serve you well, whether it survives or whether it doesn't. You're going to be a better person. You're going to be a better father. You're going to be a better child of God. And so definitely something that you want to invest your time, invest your resources into. For the unfaithful spouse, for your partner, when you have those processes and they see you doing recovery, they see you committed to your program and serious about changing and not just doing the minimum to get him or her off your back, that begins to reestablish trust. That begins to reestablish safety in the relationship when they see you doing those actions, taking those actions. And over time, and with consistency, this is going to result in a transformed you, a person, a man or woman who doesn't make the choices that got you here, that got you in this place, your marriage in this place, and your family in this place. And so again, trying to look at this moment as a moment of opportunity, a moment where you can, by making the right choices, make a tremendous difference for yourself and for your marriage and for your family, and really take those initial steps to begin that healthy process of recovery and healing. And hopefully, this response kicks off you and your marriage and your family to a road of a healthy, thriving marriage and family that you and your partner can both be happy with, which, thank God, my wife Steph and I are on to this day.